can't. Rainbow Dash? She played with tiny fluffs of clouds. They bounced between her hooves in the glistening morning sun. Rainbow Dash? Her ears perked up. With a gasp, she shot up and glanced down from her perch in the sky. 5 colorful figures stared up at her. The pink one was bouncing up and down, waving. The orange stood in the back, chuckling. Rainbow Dash! She smirked wide. Tossing her mane back, she flexed her wings and dove off the cloud. She squinted her eyes against the gnawing wind as she soared earthward, spiraling once or twice for show. When she landed, blades of grass and flower petals lifted up around her. She chuckled and looked ahead of her, then blinked as a dull expression fell across her face. There was no pony to be seen throughout the rolling landscape. Rainbow Dash? She spun around. Gold Petals stood. Not a scrap of leather was to be seen on her. She smiled, her short blonde mane hair fluttering in the breeze. Can you really do anything? She asked. She smiled back. She was about to give a laughable quip when she felt a cold sensation pouring over her limbs. Glancing down, she gasped. Her hooves had turned gray. Part of her mane hair dangled in her peripheral vision, and it too was colorless. Rainbow Dash. She spun, gasping. Princess Celestia stood. Her face was grave as she slowly turned to stone from tail to mane. You can't do anything. She backtrotted, her lips quivering. She bumped into Gold Petal's body, but felt something warm and wet. Glancing back, she had to look down to see the horrific sight. Gold Petal's corpse was being gnawed on by several leathery creatures. They all glanced up and hissed in crimson hunger. Before she could react, she felt thunderous pain racking her skull. She moaned, screamed, and fell to her knees. A pair of hooves flew up to her forehead, but were powerless to stop the 2 misshapen horns ripping out of her skull. Ah! There was a bright flash of light from behind, and she felt her entire body pelted by a sea of shattered stone and gravel.